I've been a pretty staunch believer in determinism since about 1989, and since then I've had innumerable attacks on my view that I believe all things are orchestrated, planned, decreed by the sovereign God. And it's just nonstop. People hate the idea that God is actually the potter and that we're the clay. And really, clay can't do anything unless the potter moves it with his wheel in his hands. And over the last 25 years or so, 26 years that I've believed it, I've come to see that true determinism is not elitism. For instance, we are often accused as being elitists when we say that God has elected a certain number of individuals. How many? It's not wise to guess. It's not wise to try and imagine a particular number of those who have been predestined to eternal life. I'd like to think that it's really, really large, if not all, but I don't really get that idea from the Bible. But it's clear from the Bible that God is in control of all things. But determinism is not elitism, because we're not saying that we are elect or predestined because of something we have done. You see, it is the worshiper of free will who says that God chooses us and saves us because of a foreseen decision. That is elitism. You see, to say that you had something in you that's better than Joe Unbeliever is elitism. It's self-righteousness, that God saw that you would make a good decision that you had just because you were born with it. You had this goodness about you that was better than Joe Unbeliever or Joe Atheist or Joe Agnostic. That you would say God chose you because you made, out of your free will, you made a better decision than Joe did. Well, that's elitism. That's self-righteousness. However, if you believe in absolute determinism, that God gave you that faith, that he turned your will to believe in him, then you understand that there is no difference between you and Joe Unbeliever. That's why Paul said, what then? Are we better than they? He says, in no wise. We before proved Jew and Gentile that they're all under sin. He said there is no difference. And even in 1 Corinthians, I believe it's chapter 7 or 4, one of those chapters, Paul says, who makes you to differ? Or if you have received it, why do you boast as if you have not received it? Not that you did the act of receiving, but that God caused you to be born with this gift. Think about that for a moment. At whatever time in your life, God gave you faith. God changed your will. That's what Jeremiah said. After I was turned, then I repented. Psalm 110, verse 3. Your people shall be willing when? In the day of your power. Determinism is the sure cure. Balanced determinism. Not the self-righteousness of so many Calvinists today, Reconstructionists, theonomists, and so forth. But I'm talking about a balanced determinism that says that God is absolutely sovereign and there was nothing good in us, nothing decent in us, nothing better in us than the unbeliever. It's just that God changed our will. He made us willing. Again, Psalm 110, verse 3. So determinism is the only cure for self-righteousness. It is the only cure for elitism. It is the only cure for false religion. If you do not believe in determinism, then ultimately your false religion will result in elitism and self-righteousness, that somehow you had something that was in you that was better than the other guy or girl who didn't believe. So there's your little encouragement for the day. Enjoy.